All right, Hillcock's here. I just want to show off these headphones my brother got for me for my birthday. Yeah, these things again. We got the buttons for pause, stop and pause, change mode from music mode to SD card music mode to what's it called? Bluetooth mode. You got pause, stop, you know, pause and play. Skip forward, skip back, and volume. You have to press and hold to skip the volume. The micro SD card slot and the Type C charging port and the auxiliary plug there and the microphone and light right there. So, yeah. These barely fit. They do fit, but they barely fit. They're pretty okay. I like them. I do like them. I do like them. But they're not really good for stuff like this. So take these off. Often I'll have it like this because I'll have my other ones. I'll put them on like that. It's really ridiculous. So I don't really like to do that. So I'm gonna take these off. Put them right here. Put these back on. There we go. Now let's go. Oh shoot! The not safe for work fan art replacement. I'll be right back. All right. For today's not safe for work replacement, we have Frankie Foster from Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends in a nice, very short red dress. Actually, fan art version of her because, yes, her breasts are bigger than normal. She's very, luckily, the dress is so short you can see her crotch there. That's pretty crazy. She looks amazingly sexy. And then, of course, she looks even sexier in her green bikini, which is very good accent for her red hair. Light skin, yes. She's just got out of the pool. She's all wet, dripping wet. That's very nice. And full-grown Emily Elizabeth, fully clothed, looking really cute like her mother. Lucy Loud from Loud House, all grown up in a nice, I think, bikini type outfit, black leather with brass rings on it. Interesting. We have this girl from Hell of a Boss, a nice, soft and squishy girl. Hell of a Boss with blue and pink hair. Red dress as well. And then you have her in her pink bikini, showing off her beautiful body. My gosh, she is nice and soft and squishy as well. Yes. That's the fan art. Let's continue on with people getting things wrong. These conversations we try to shame out with by wishes and basic biology and getting ticked off about that. Trigger warning: if you don't like what I say, go ahead, click off the video, go watch something else. The online says hate speech my videos because there is no hate speech my videos. It's speech you hate. That's the real story. Let's see here. So yeah, internet's still down, but eventually get it back up. But right now, I got work to do. I gotta go and actually gotta check and see my notes here. Marathon Hate Mail Part 7, huh? Let's see. Go to Marathon Hate Mail Part 7. S. Also S. We're not there yet. Hate Mail Part 7. Double click. Screenshot. S for screenshot. Yeah, there's lots of screenshots. We'll get to those eventually. For my phone. We'll get to those eventually, but right now we got this to go. And I say, this is some overlap, but it's important to talk about. So I don't miss anything. I say all caps, every single live service game that is dead had year-long plans. Not all caps. If you want to make your game successful, all caps. Put all that stuff in the game at launch. Angry face emoji. Yes, great angry face emoji. Because that's the issue with these games. One of the reasons why they fail so easily, fail so much, is that they're like, oh yeah, we can, give here's something paper thin. Here's a little paper thin something. That's what most live service games do. I was surprised Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League didn't. They basically because they're woke, most likely. Because woke games usually have all their stories at launch, and then they're done. Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League had all the story, pretty much all the story at launch, and was done. They tried to have 3 seasons. They had to have 4 seasons of pretty much nothing, except for one new character, one new Brainiac boss fight, one new level, pretty much it. One new Justice League member to decorate the Hall of Justice. That's pretty much it. And finally they ended it because, my gosh, the thing was a waste. But eventually, here's the issue. With other games, especially like High Guard, Concord, Marathon, others like that, they're trying to basically say, oh, they'll wait long enough, wait for months. You know, you give them a year-long plan, they'll buy that trick and just go, you know, and let us and just you know, can we go hang out with us, buy our stuff that we peddled to them, and we'll be fine. It has not worked. It has failed miserably several times. That plan has failed miserably several times. It is like, why don't you just put all this stuff in at launch? You know, you have one chance at a good impression. You know, High Guard was a crazy one because you had wait, you have unpaused, right? Unpaused. Okay, we're unpaused. Okay, good. High Guard was annoying because here's the issue: you had something, a good little start of something. But then they were basically like, okay, in a few months we'll put this in, a few more months we'll put that in, so forth and so on, for years and years and years, or something like that. And it's just like, no one's playing your game. You know, you had over 100,000 players at launch, and that went down to only a few thousand, you know, like a few weeks, a few days, a few weeks. You know, you're wasting money. You're not making enough money to keep things going. You know, so it's just like, you know, you have all this stuff, all this space in High Guard. You know, all this space in High Guard. So yeah, Conquest was the what's called the next Star Wars. They wanted to be the next Star Wars, but they didn't do it right. And they gave us a little bit of content, and then we're like really satisfied with that. Let's just wait for a little bit, you know, and you know, they'll buy stuff, and you'll have money. We'll be rich, power rich. It's an infinite money glitch, but it's not. It's not an infinite money glitch. It's an infinite money pile, money hole, actually. When you don't do things right, and then it's like, yeah, that game failed. High Guard had a bunch of room for things, but nothing in there yet. You know, it's like there was supposed to be all kinds of cool stuff that you could do later. But yeah, again, the curse of later. You know, do things now. You know, first time impression is important to do now. You know, so it's really sad to see that. So let's go. This one says, this is what Ubisoft said about X Defiant before they pull the plug, lol. We are the only ones to see this, or the writing on the wall. Conquer was supposed to be an entire universe, one part was Star Wars, laughing, rolling them around, laughing. Unknown 9, Awakening had movies, TV shows, books planned. Yep, and it sucks. See, baby made it. It sucks. It was not good. It's sad that, what was that? Who were those people? Namco, Bandai Namco, they made that. They helped make that with Sleep Baby Incorporated. What a horrible waste of time and effort. It was terrible. Crimson just hit a new player count peak right now, by the way, because yeah, Crimson Desert had a bunch of stuff at launch. They needed to improve some stuff, yes, and they did. But they had a bunch of stuff at launch. You could play the game for hours. You know, you can go on the main quests, side quests. You know, play as one of 3 characters. You know, they could work on improvement on that. You know, make it so you have a character creator, but you know, that's later. But yeah, the way it was, you could do all kinds of cool stuff. There's so many different ways of fighting, so many different ways of flying, so many different ways of doing all this crazy stuff at launch. It's a really great game. You know, does it have issues? Of course, but it was a really good game. It was meant to be shown off at launch. Let's go. Marathon Part 8. Oh, the streamers Bungie check stopped going through? It won't be much longer. The Conquer trilogy is nearing completion. True. Eventually, Marathon will die. You know, the form letter will come out saying that they're ending service Marathon because eventually the statute of limitations will be up or something. Because that's most likely what happened with Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad was DOA pretty much because it was horrible story, horrible characters, horribly overpriced microtransactions, you know, and just like, yeah, we don't care about this story at all. We don't want to shoot the Justice League. We want to play as Justice League, you know. We don't care about these fake versions of characters we like. They're fake, you know. So eventually, the player count went down to only a few thousand. But then here's the issue: they doubled down and they said, "Oh, wait till the first season." That was just a launch content. Wait till the first season, and it was just Jonker and more things to buy that you don't want to buy, and another re-up boss fight, and one more level that was like pretty much a reskin of an original of the already used level. You know. Of an already used level there, and that was pretty crappy. After a bunch of other games, better games came out. Full better games came out. Then, yeah, the months of waiting. Then another season came out. Mrs. Freeze, one more boss fight, one more level. There's just not no piddling amounts of stuff, piddling amounts for each season. And finally, after all 4 seasons, which I guess was they were contractually obligated to show, the game was dead. I heard there was about 100 or so people still playing that game, on Steam at least, and I'm just like, why? People, me and Angry Joe, another Joe, and Alex were like, why? It was not a good. It was a parody. It was a horrible, annoying parody of everything. It was horrible. Like why? Because someone liked it, I guess, enough to play the offline mode. They at least had offline mode, so all games should have offline mode. Let's see here. They deserve all the humiliation. Yep, they do. Marathon's riddle of cheaters. Imagine that. The studio couldn't keep the hackers out of their main line game, Destiny 2. Can't keep them out of the marathon. True. The goal of this marathon is to reach 0 players for this year. Eventually they will. Nothing feels as good as watching a greedy company lose money. Well, laughing to your cry emoji. At least they lasted 3 conquests long. The fans have spoken. F-A-F-O. F around and find out. Basically, here's the issue. You got, and Dr. Disaster put a heart on those. That'll come in. Here's the issue with me. Marathon will go for a little while, but eventually they will die. It will die because I hear it's costing hundreds of thousands of dollars, even millions of dollars to keep that thing going, And right now, Bungie and Sony need to save as much money as possible. They need to save as much money as possible. Focus on making games that sell. All right, I'm gonna make a video about what games would sell. Okay, what games are better for them to make, for people to make videos about that. All right, I'll see you guys next time. Check me out on YouTube and DeviantArt.